Yo, if you feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself just to be perfect, or that you need certain things to be done in a certain way to be perfect, or else you're not gonna be happy, I want you just to chill out for a moment. Like, hear me out. During this video, I want you to be able to actually let go of those pressures. And I understand, like, some of the things are things that society tells us that we need to be like, and other things are things that we put on ourselves. Actually, it's all things that we put on ourselves and accept in ourselves. You know, some people think that they can't love themselves if they're not this certain way, or they're not meeting these certain expectations. I want to remind you that no matter how good or bad you're doing, you're worthy of love. And you're worthy to give yourself that love. You're worthy to love yourself unconditionally, no matter the circumstances. You deserve to love yourself. And looking at things beyond just like a personal view, look at them from a higher perspective, from a divine perspective. Because whether you believe it or not, whether you believe in God, whether you just think this universe is this universe or whatever, doesn't matter what your beliefs are. This reality is benevolence. There's a loving aspect to it. And it's inherently natural. And I think that when we were able to connect with that, not only on a universal level, but just even within ourselves, it becomes easier not only to love ourselves, but to love those around us. It becomes easier to see ourselves and other people and to have more compassion. And that doesn't mean we have to tolerate bad behavior or indecent, behavior, or just things that we would not accept, but rather there's a level of compassion and understanding that within all of the people, there is an innate sense of love, and there's an innate sense of worthiness and needing to be loved. Well, I think that, as human beings, like, we all deserve love, but it's also important to remember that we can also pour into ourselves. We can also love ourselves. And having a loving connection with yourself that's a beautiful thing, because at the end of the day, like, how are you going to receive love from another person if you can't even receive it from yourself? You understand? Be able to be willing to give yourself love, being able to take that time for yourself, to do the things that you need to rest, to breathe, to exercise, you know what I'm saying? And not be so hard on yourself. I think it's another thing that people get caught up with like trying to love themselves, and they feel like they need to be at a certain place before they can love themselves. They need to hit the gym, they need to make more money, they need to do this, that. No. Like, this love, this comes before that. You understand? Because it's something internal. This is not something that, like, if you're looking for somewhere outside yourself to love yourself from, you're not going to find it. That love comes from within. So you got to, tap into yourself and then really find that within yourself. And there's a level of honesty, but also compassion that you can have for yourself when you see, you look at those parts of yourself that maybe you wouldn't want to, you know. Because, listen, we all have things that maybe we want to be better. But being able to look at yourself with compassion and say, this is where I'm at, and that's okay. That's okay. Because I think a lot of people have this idealized version of life that they want to live, and an idealized version of themselves that they want to be. And the thing with that is, that's always something you're putting off into the future. Like, recognize right now, you probably already are part of what you have wanted to be in the past. Right? So part of the changes that you wanted to make, part of the person that you wanted to be, you have already progressed towards that, right? Let's say in the past, you wanted to be more confident. Do you feel more confident than you were now? Or maybe you wanted to be more expressive, outgoing. These are all things that it's a process, and the likelihood is that you have advanced, you have progressed in the things that you wanted to become and to do and to be within yourself. And so it's just a level of patience and compassion, once again, with yourself. I think like people often could see life as a race, trying to be like, always trying to get somewhere to get something and having it right now immediately. But if you start seeing things less as a sprint and more as a marathon. No, no. Actually, scrap that. I don't like that interpretation. You start seeing things more as a dance and less of a race. You will start to grasp the present moment of life and then enjoy it and be present with it. Because when you realize, like, when you're dancing, you're not doing it to be the fastest to dance. You're not doing it to reach a certain point in the dance. It's flow. It's constantly moving. It's constantly expressing itself and enjoying itself. And I believe like that is what life is about, is being here, being present, and really flowing and dancing with life. And I think like, well, no, I know that all of life happens right here, right now, in the present moment. So if you're constantly offloading your goals, your dreams, or who you want to be, or your happiness, your love for yourself, if you're putting that off for a future date, who knows if it'll ever come? And that isn't to say things will change or that you can't achieve your goals. That's the opposite of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is all of that progress happens here and now. And all of that time that you think is in the future is now. It's always now. So don't wait to love yourself. Don't wait to be compassionate. Don't wait to care for yourself. And I think if, you know, you worry about your dreams, your goals, just do it now. Just be present with it. Be okay with the results. Keep working at it. But do it from here and now. Don't do it from the idea of a future and where you want to be. Just be okay with it where it is now. And I think like most of all, just when we come back to that present moment, when we come back to here and now, things become a lot simpler. Things aren't as difficult. The problems that we once saw, we realized are kind of illusions. They're not as heavy when we let go of them and don't carry them around. And the same is with expectations you have of yourself or how things need to be in your life. Come back to the present moment, you will find gratitude for what you have. And there's a beauty in that. I find myself when I'm grateful to be grateful. And that just builds upon itself. And that's a beautiful feeling when you can cultivate and really just allow yourself and feel that gratitude and recognize it and build a relationship with that feeling. And this isn't about avoiding bad feelings. This isn't about any of that. No, no. It's about being right here, right now. That's it. It's so simple. And on paper, it might not even seem like it's valuable. But when you're here and you're now and you're really in it, it's impossible not to notice the value in it because it's inherent. It's inherently valuable. And it's not something that can be put a number on, a price tag on. And I think that the most valuable things in life are like that. The things that you can't put a price tag on. Like, what's more valuable? A Lamborghini or love? You know what I'm saying? What's more valuable? So yeah, take the time to really love yourself, appreciate yourself, man, because you really deserve it. Like, I I may never even come face to face with you, but at the very least, I can share with you what I've learned, the fact that I've recognized this love within myself. I'm able to offer that to other people. You understand? When you become love, you're able to radiate that outwards and share that with other people. I think that that energy it's electric, it's magnetic, I don't know. Like when I see that in another person, I'm immediately like my attention's there. I'm with it. I'm connecting with that love and that positive vibration. And I think like I'll tell you a little story since we're close to the end of this video. I had my cat out in public and there's this girl and she had so much energy and she's talking about this cat. She wants to take photos with it, blah, blah, blah. But I saw something in her that I don't know, like I missed being that passionate and excited about something.